have the opportunity to increase your protection with the Aflac Accident Indemnity Advantage insurance policy. Think of Aflac as your safety net to help protect you or a covered family member from the expenses you might not expect when an injury occurs. For about the cost of a few cups of coffee a week, you or a covered family member can be better prepared when an accident occurs. Aflac pays you, not your doctor, to help you pay for everyday out-of-pocket expenses like car payments, mortgage and rent payments, or groceries and gas. Did you know that every second somebody seeks medical attention for an injury? Let's take Robert, for example. Robert is involved in a car accident. He is taken to the emergency room by ambulance. X-rays reveal a fractured wrist. For this accidental injury, Aflac would pay benefits for his emergency room treatment, ambulance transportation, X-ray, and a specific sum for his fractured wrist. If Robert requires follow-up care, his Aflac policy pays benefits for several treatments. Sure, his major medical insurance will cover some of his expenses, but not all of them. Robert can use his Aflac benefits to help pay for medical or non-medical expenses that resulted from his covered accident. In a more serious accident, Robert may have required more treatment, needed more time off work, and accumulated more bills. That's why there are other benefits that help pay for things like burns, lodging, coma, paralysis, hospital confinement, and physical therapy. Accidents cannot be avoided. For that reason, Aflac's coverage helps protect you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you'll be better prepared for the unexpected financial stress an accident may bring, regardless of whether you're at home, work, or anywhere in between. Aflac coverage helps pay for things like accidental death and dismemberment, because these events carry many additional expenses. Preventive care is important, which is why your accident plan pays a benefit for wellness. You will receive benefits when you have a covered annual exam or preventive test, even if your major medical insurance covers the entire cost. Some covered exams include eye exams, dental exams, annual physical exams, ultrasounds, immunizations, and mammograms and pap smears. Your Aflac accident coverage is guaranteed renewable and portable. So if you change jobs, you can keep your coverage, and Aflac will waive your premiums for up to 2 months while you switch employers. There is no need to risk your financial future when Aflac's affordable Accident Indemnity Advantage coverage is available to you. We all have enough to worry about. Let Aflac help give you peace of mind, knowing that you'll be covered when you need it most. At Aflac, we've got you under our wing.
Hi, I'm Kevin Johnston. Thanks for listening. You see, I work for Aflac, and if you're like most people, you probably know Aflac because of the duck commercials on TV, right? And maybe you don't exactly understand what Aflac is and how it works. So I'll take just a moment to explain. First, let me tell you that Aflac is not health insurance. We all know how health insurance worked. It's designed to pay who? Doctors and hospitals. Aflac's very different. It's much simpler. Aflac pays you cash when you get hurt or sick. That's all there is to it. Now, my wife and I actually have major medical health insurance. We have Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is important. We also have a couple of Aflac policies. You see, Aflac is very inexpensive and it's very specific. It allows you to cover exactly what's important to you in your situation. And it finally allows people to customize their benefits option when most of the time it's kind of a take it or leave it, one size fits all, especially if it comes from your company. So, like I said, Aflac pays cash, and you might be wondering, well, how would I use the cash? What are the benefits for it, and why does it work the way that it does? And I'll tell you there are 3 key ways that people end up using Aflac's cash benefits when they get hurt or sick. The first is for uncovered medical expenses. Now, obviously, health insurance doesn't pay for everything. You have your deductible up front, and those deductibles nowadays, they're going up and up, right? I mean, it's easy to find people with a deductible of $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even $5,000, and that's before the health insurance really kicks in. And then of course you always have your co-pays, maybe your co-insurance, the 80/20. I'll tell you, now more than ever, health insurance is built so that it's designed so that you pay more. No longer is it the day of a $5 copay and everything was just covered, because the health insurance plans are being designed more and more with maybe there are things that aren't covered, treatments or conditions. It's a tricky scenario. It's something that obviously the government is working to try to solve. But so the first application of Aflac cash benefits is uncovered medical expenses. The second is daily living expenses. Obviously, even if you can postpone your hospital bill, your electric meter is going to keep spinning, and they're going to want their money at the end of the month. Same thing with cell phone, car, rent, all of that. So you can absolutely use cash benefits to pay for anything else in daily life that you need. The money isn't taxed and it isn't tracked. So it's up to you however you might need to use it. The third and probably the most important way that people use Aflac cash benefits is for lost income. I mean, can you imagine a worse time to lose your paycheck coming in than when the bills are coming in faster than ever before? So I'll just keep it really simple. Aflac does simple, affordable coverages that you can use to round out if you already have major medical, or absolutely Aflac works by itself. And also listed here, I'll have a couple of links to some of our specific policies in case you wanted a little more information about a basic accident plan, or maybe something that specifically addresses the needs of cancer treatment. So again, Kevin Johnston, and if there's one person that you know of who might need to listen to this, and this might be, helpful towards, please help me get in touch with them, and thanks for your time.
What we do is we specialize in helping people after a serious accident or illness. We provide cash directly to them so they can keep food on the table, gas in their car, and keep a roof over their head. But what we're looking for is we're looking for people to go out, meet with business owners, convince them that it's in their best interest to offer Aflac to their employees, and do so on a voluntary basis. Now, when they offer Aflac to their employees, they don't have to change a thing. We're not asking them to get rid of their Blue Cross or other health insurance and bring Aflac in. We're just simply asking them to make our programs available alongside what they already have going on, and doing it on a voluntary basis. They don't have to pay a penny towards the cost of these programs. So we're looking for sharp, professional people that can interact with business owners and then the employees of those businesses.
Aflac's a great organization to work for, just due to the fact that the branding is huge, as well as we do help families out in need. I've personally had a chance to handle a lot of claims myself, everything from accident-related injuries to cancer claims, and definitely enjoy helping those families out in need.
Well, I was a teacher for 10 years here in the city of Peoria, and I chose to come back to work at Aflac after I'd had twins because I needed something that would be really flexible. And I researched several different things online, trying to find something that would work with my background, and Aflac seemed to be one of the best choices for working mothers. I'd seen a lot of positive things online. It was chosen by Working Mothers magazine, I think, is the best place to work several years in a row. And with young twins and a young 4-year-old, I needed to have that flexibility where I could drop them off in the morning, pick them up in the afternoon, work the number of hours that were good for me, and that seemed to be the best option. Well, for the first time in my life, I'm actually able to work hard and then earn money for it. So that was a huge plus for me. When you work really hard as a teacher, the only pat on the back you get is the one you give yourself. So in this business, I can work really hard and feel good about it, but I'm earning money for myself based on the work that I'm doing.
Top performers all have basically 3 things in common. Number one is they're very professional. We have to hire professionals. We're a Fortune 200 company. We have to hire Fortune 200 people. Second thing is they have to have some sales ability. Not necessarily experience. I did not have any sales experience. We will hire people without sales experience. But they have to have the personality. They have to have the communication skills and the likability factor. And then lastly, they have to have drive. They have to be somebody that's self-motivated.
Aflac provides supplemental benefits to companies to make available to their employees. There's no cost to the company to offer Aflac to their employees. The nice thing about our plans is that all of our policies pay cash directly to the insured in the event of a sickness or an injury.
I'm passionate about working with Aflac for a number of different reasons. First and foremost is you really have control over your own time. You have control over the business, you have control over what you're doing on a daily basis, and along with that, you have control over your income and your schedule.
If you have a little entrepreneurial spirit in your heart, and you like business-to-business sales, and you want to work one-on-one with business owners and their employees, it's a great place.
I have a job that pays me great money, but at the end of the day, I also had a job that allows me to help people. It's an opportunity that doesn't matter where you've been in the past, because we basically train you, support you, and get you to sell our product. It's a great career to have.
One of the key attributes that we look for new recruits is ambition. Aflac can give you everything that you need to be successful. The one thing we can't give you is ambition.
I got involved with Aflac because Aflac is family business with us. My mom was an agent, my father was an agent. Actually, my parents became districts and regional managers, and they got me involved right after college.
You have district coordinators that stand behind you, you have regional coordinators that stand behind you. Probably some of the best trainers that I've ever seen.
If you like to travel, Aflac is very good about rewarding their field force with trips, with recognition, with additional bonuses.
With Aflac, we currently insure over 50 million people worldwide, and we have over 440,000 businesses in the U.S. that make Aflac available to their employees. If you're interested in learning more about the opportunity that we have here at Aflac, please contact us at 516-621-1606.
What is your vision? What is it that you want to be? Where do you want to be 10 years from now? Where do you want to be 20 years from now?
It's amazing how fast you run when you're running for yourself.
It's the way you touch lives, it's the way you touch people, and it's knowing that this is in their best interest.
With Aflac, you truly are going to be compensated according to your worth.
I have days I'm worth $5 an hour, and I have days I'm worth $500, but I determine what those days are and how many of those that I have to have.
Not only do they pay you great first-year commissions, but they give you lifetime renewals.
I believe there's not a better time to come to work for Aflac than right now.
And I had a friend that says, you really should try Aflac. I'm going, that's insurance. Who wants to sell insurance? I'm on the radio.
It's life-changing when you walk in and that family is about to have lost everything they have and you're giving them a $100,000 check. It'll change your life forever.
I was always told that, if you care about people first, the money will come.
The more money you make, absolutely positively, the more people that you had a positive impact on and helped.
Interestingly enough, it does not matter if you came from a sales background with Aflac.
The better ones are the ones that have no sales experience.
I didn't come from a sales background and I didn't have this experience.
I worked at the Blood Bank of Alaska as a phlebotomist, and I was always called a vampire.
I had been a police officer for 16 years.
To me, what's more important than sales experience is motivation, confidence, and really being coachable.
Any person with the right work ethic, heart, and determination can make it in this business.
Aflac's going to provide you the greatest training platform to give you all the tools and the resources to eliminate all obstacles.
We're going to provide training that's a combination of classroom and in the field.
My notes consisted of like little scrap pieces of paper and little sticky notes here and there.
What other nationally recognized company can you actually talk to the CEO?
My youngest always says, Dad, you're always smiling, and I'm trying to figure out, do you really work? Or is your job just to smile all day long and come home?
We want them to work hard and be successful, but we also want them to go home happy and take that to their family.
I don't think there's any better sales opportunity out there. The ability to impact people's lives, the ability to take control of your own, financial future.
Every morning I get up and I know that we've done the right thing. It just feels good.
Look really, really hard at this opportunity because you may go the rest of your life and find something that's not as good.
To be able to share what Aflac can do for millions and millions of people is just a great opportunity.
Every new person that comes into this business they have the opportunity to look at this career and take flight, and that flight can take them anywhere that they want to go.
Mrs. Smith, I really appreciate you taking the few minutes to sit down and meet with me. Could you tell me off the top what you know about Aflac?
Just those great commercials?
The great commercials? Well, our head of our commercials, our director of marketing, is a little present for you.
Very cute.
Well, yeah, people sometimes think he's cute, others think he's irritating, and I'm glad you think he's cute. So basically, you've never had an Aflac visit before, or been represented Aflac? Okay, great. Well, first of all, let me tell you, Aflac is not health insurance. Okay, you're familiar with health insurance. Health insurance is designed to pay the doctor, pay the hospital, pay the providers, everyone but the employee. Aflac pays the employee. So in the event of any kind of injury or major illness and so forth, and there's a setback, Aflac provides them cash so they can take care of their bills. The program we have is called the Catastrophic Protection Plan. I have a worksheet here, and I'm going to fill it out for you in a second. It's designed to help an employee avoid bankruptcy, the possibility of bankruptcy, and or losing their home due to a major serious bout with cancer, heart attack, stroke, any of those things. Have you ever known anybody to have a bout with cancer?
Yes.
Okay. Did it have a minor or a major impact on their family's finances? Do you remember?
Yeah, it had a pretty major impact.
Okay. And the reason it probably did is because studies show that even people with a good health insurance plan, many of them still go into bankruptcies. Actually, 60% of people already had health insurance. They still go into bankruptcy. So health insurance isn't designed to take care of the individual. It's designed to take care of the hospital and the doctor. The program that I'm going to show you has two very attractive aspects. First of all, you, the business owner, there's no cost to you. Okay, as far as your employees are concerned, even your lowest paid employee can participate in Aflac because it's quite affordable. It's as little as $5 a week in some cases to get started. When someone is struck down by a major medical event, be it an injury or a heart attack or stroke or something like that, chances are they're going to miss time away from work. And as a result, their income stops. So let me just ask you a couple of questions, if I may, while I go through this. Would you think that most of your employees probably live from paycheck to paycheck?
Yeah, probably.
Yes? Okay. And would you think that most of them probably don't have a lot of savings put away in case of an emergency of some sort?
I wouldn't guess so.
Okay. Well, that's really what we're in business to help you, help solve that problem for those employees. Okay, so most of your employees are paid on an hourly basis, correct?
Correct.
Okay, would you say they're paid between $8 an hour and say $20–25 an hour?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go, I'm going to just for argument's sake, I'm going to just pay $15 an hour. So let's say that's $600 a week that your employees would make on an average 40-hour work week. Do you have some employees that actually have spouses that work someplace else? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's be fair to the spouse and say that they also make $600 a week. And together, as a family unit, they're bringing in $1,200 a week, okay? And that's designed to take care of the things that are most important to them, a place to live, so it's either mortgage or they're paying rent, okay? They have to have a car payment or car payments. Utilities, got to keep the lights on, got to keep the heat in, so it's gas or oil or whatever. They've got to put food on the table, and plus there's a whole list of living expenses. And to find out what a person spends every month, all they have to do is open up the register or their checkbook and you can see where the money goes. So they're earning an income to take care of all these things. Okay, what our program is designed to do is take care of the what if. What if a major injury were to take place, or a major bout with cancer, or critical illness, massive heart attack or stroke, and they can't go to work? What happens then? That's really where we come in, okay? So I'm going to use your example here with your employee and employee spouse. I'm going to say, let's use a situation where your employee spouse comes down with a major bout with cancer. Very, very sick, out of work for a serious amount of time and can't work. That paycheck has just been totally compromised. So what we have here is $1,200 needed. We call that financial balance, needed to take care of their expenses. But now that's just been compromised, and what we have is your employee carrying the load at $600 a week. So if $1,200 represents balance, what does $600 represent? It's going in the wrong direction, wouldn't you agree? Yes. Okay, well that's really what our plan is designed to help avoid. So that's just the beginning of some of the problems that they have. The second thing that we have is that the spouse has got to go back and forth on an ongoing basis to get treatment. Someone has to take her back and forth for the treatment. Of all the people your employees and your employee spouse, of all the people who's most likely elected to do that, who do you think that would be?
My employee.
Your employee? Okay. All right, so if the employee takes 1 day a week off of work, that means they're making $120 a day, so that brings them down to $480 for that week's pay. So under that kind of circumstance, we're not looking at $600 a week anymore. We're looking at $480 a week to take the place of what is required is $1,200 a week. So can you see how this family's getting in trouble financially very quickly? Okay. All right, so from here is where things really can get bad. Okay, that looks bad, but it gets a lot worse than that. This is all they have to play with. Now from there, they have to go out of pocket for everything else, okay? So what we've got here is the first thing they have to do is they have to come up with what we call a deductible if in fact they have health insurance. Does your company provides health insurance, correct?
We do.
Okay, could you share with me what the average deductible is for your employees?
$2,500.
$2,500, okay. Would you say that probably the preponderance of your employees probably don't have an emergency savings of $2,500 or $3,000 around?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's the norm. That's what we're seeing. But you know, that has to be met before the hospital bill is paid. So they have to come up with it somewhere. Now what we have is that we have a lot of money from the 480 going directly out of their pocket to take care of this ongoing treatment. Somebody's got to drive her back and forth, and you say that's her husband, right? He's going to take her back and forth to the treatment center. Okay, the first thing they have to do is they have to get in the car and they have to travel to Boston. Let's say that's where the treatment is. Okay, so that requires gas in the car. You're looking at about 55 miles. You're looking at probably about 2 gallons in, 2 gallons back. You're probably looking at 2, 4, 6, 8, about $15 for about gasoline. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when all you have is 480, $15 all of a sudden becomes a lot. Every penny counts. They're going to have tolls. It's about $6. Parking. And when's the last time you parked in Boston? Okay, people tell us it's expensive. We ended up going to a hospital parking lot in Boston. Of course, one of our agents passed with cancer, and they would charge us $20. Okay, but let's say you can get a $20 parking. In a lot of cases, it's a lot more expensive. Do some of your employees have children?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have 2 people working, chances are they have daycare. Well, if one is out, daycare is gone. However, this employee here, let's see, who's the only person left to take care of the kids, but now this employee here is also out because they're down in Boston. They have to pay for some kind of babysitting or something. What do you figure about daycare, 1 day of daycare? What do you figure that costs for a couple of kids?
I don't know.
It's about, it's at least $50, okay, if they got a good deal, okay? All right, so while the employee is down in Boston taking care of his spouse, he still has to eat, so even if he eats in the hospital cafeteria for a couple of meals, what do you figure he's spending? At least, what, even about, 8 to 10 bucks?
Yeah, at least.
At least, okay, so we're looking at 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, over $100. That's $100 going out from what they already have. So that only leaves them about $380 to take care of all these bills. Is there any question in your mind, cash flow wise, that this family is going to be in very, very serious trouble in very short order? Okay, that's why I'm here. What I'd like to do is just take another few minutes and prove to you how Aflac can solve that problem so your family never has to, and your families of your employees never have to face that. Would that be okay?
That'd be okay.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you for signing up for Aflac today, and just like a spare tire in your trunk, I hope you never have to use it, but should an unexpected situation come along, like a major injury or some kind of major illness, you're going to be very thankful that you signed up today. So congratulations. I noticed that you signed up for your spouse as well. Where does he work? Can you tell me? Okay, great. Do you happen to know what that company, whether they offer Aflac to their employees to protect themselves financially in a situation like we just talked about here? They don't. Do you happen to know who the business owner is over there? Oh, you do. Would they knows you pretty well, pretty much, and who you are and by your first name and so forth? So I wonder if you could possibly help me. The reason I'm asking is that I've found that unless I'm introduced to an owner of a particular business by someone he or she knows, the chances of me getting in are relatively slim, because they just don't like to take a call from someone out of the blue. But if I were to mention your name, and there's Mr. Smith over that company knows you fairly well, most likely he'll pick up your call. So would you be kind enough to call Mr. Smith and tell him that I will be making a call to him so I can set up an appointment with him? Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. So what I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, I'd like to call Mr. Smith by next Thursday. So can I call you by next Wednesday to see if that would give you significant enough time to maybe get in contact with him and let him know that I'll be giving him a call, so at least he takes my call? Would you do that for me? I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Mr. Business Owner, listen, we've completed the enrollment with your employees. I just wanted to stop by to briefly say thank you for giving your employees an opportunity to protect themselves against the financial burden that's brought on by an injury or an illness, and by using Aflac. So thank you very, very much. I was wondering if I could ask for a bit of feedback from you, if it's okay. Was everything done to your level of satisfaction and according to the expectations that I set with you prior to the actual enrollment? Did you feel good about it? Would you make any recommendations as to how we may have done it a little bit better? Okay, great. Well, thank you. Well, what I want to do is I want to set future expectations as well. I'm going to be coming by on a periodic basis and to make sure that your invoices are correct, to make sure if you have any claims questions, because we want your employees to come to me, not to you. And want to make sure if any employee was terminated, so we can make sure that they continue to keep Aflac, because they can keep it at the same rate. And if you have any new hires, I'll be happy to come in and make sure that we cover them with the same program I covered your employees right now. Now, I was wondering if you could help me with something. For us to reach business owners and to be able to meet someone at the level that you are, it's very, very difficult, because typically when we walk into a business or we give them a call, they don't like to take a call from strangers out of the blue. So I was wondering if you would be kind enough to maybe help me with some business owners that you know, that maybe you golf with or go meet at meetings or part of an association or something, that you know that if I mention your name, they'd at least allow me to stop by and give them a brochure and tell them what it is that we do. Could you do that for me? Great. I brought a list of people in your industry, and I noticed that there's an association of all different kind of members in the general area, and I was wondering if you recognize any of these names on this list in particular. Oh, okay. You know that one and that one. Anyone? Who are the ones that you know the best? You know those three the best. Okay, great. Could you help me with something? Would you be kind enough to give them a call and let them know that I'll be calling them, so they'll at least pick up my call? All right, thank you very much. I truly appreciate that. Well, I'm going to call the first one on the list here next Thursday. So what I'd like to do is call back you on Wednesday, and I don't know if it was better for you in the morning or afternoon, whatever's better. I'll call you back and see if you had an opportunity to let them know that I will be calling them. Would that be okay if I touch base with you on Wednesday or Thursday for that? Thank you very, very much. I truly do appreciate it. You know, Joe, you really are a very good friend of mine, and one of the things I wanted to do, and I thank you for taking the few minutes to go through this brochure with me, I wanted to show you what it is that we do and how we can help people in the event of a major injury or a bout with cancer or heart attack, stroke, and so forth. And cancer is the one that's near and dear to my heart, because I actually lost a sister to the cancer, but I was wondering if you could help me with something. At your place of business, do you know the business owner fairly well? Oh, you do? Okay. If I stop by there next Tuesday, would it be, say at the end of work, would it be okay if you would, before you leave, would you walk me down and introduce me to the owner so I can give them my card and maybe see if I could set an appointment? Would you do that for me? Thank you. Mrs. Smith, this is Bill Henry from Aflac. I just wanted to follow up to make sure that you received your claim money that we sent to you in the last couple of days. Did you receive that okay? Do you have any questions? Anything in particular? Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for allowing us to be of service to you. I really appreciate that. I wonder if I may ask you a question. Do you happen to know a friend or any relative or anyone that's close to you that owns a business that if I were to call them and introduce myself and mention your name, that they would allow me to stop by with a brochure? Do you happen to know anybody like that? Okay, may I ask you a favor? Would you be kind enough to call that person and let them know that I will be giving them a call So they're not taking the call out of the blue. Would that be okay with you? Well, what I'd like to do is call Ms. Smith next week on Thursday, if that's okay. Would it be okay if I touch base with you by Wednesday to make sure you had an opportunity to speak with them so they take my call? Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Hello, Joe. Hi, this is Bill Henry. I'm your Aflac rep. We met a few months back when we enrolled you with Aflac at XYZ Company. I spoke to your HR director about some other issue, and she mentioned that you moved on, maybe you want to move into a different position somewhere. I just wanted to follow up. Have you found a new job yet, or are you still looking for another position? Oh, you have. Good for you. Good for you. I've got good news. Well, listen, you signed up, you got a very competitive rate, and one of the things about Aflac is you get to keep that rate for the rest of your life. So would you still like to be able to take advantage of that? I can get you set up so you can keep that at the same exact rate. Okay, great. All right, listen, where do you work right now? What's the name of the company? How about if I stop by next Tuesday, I can make it even better for you. Stop by Tuesday, say when you finish work, say 5 o'clock or so, and if you walk me down and introduce me to the business owner, I'll see if I can get it set up for you on pre-tax. Will that work for you? Okay, great, thanks.